Welcome back to A Corporate Time. On the line with us right now, our buddy Chris Gwaltney from thehumidor.com.
You know, sometimes
ABC.
we don't say this, but this man, I think he got his certification in 2013. You're a tobaccoist.
A tobacconist. Not
Tobacconist. Tobaccoist. Tobacconist.
Tobacco, yeah.
Tobacconist.
Yeah.
Do you have to keep that up every year?
Oh, yeah, they changed the math. Just like teachers, you got to get a different certification.
No, you don't have to. You don't have to re-up. We're not. It's not brain surgery or rocket science. So
I do think it's cool though. It's like when I have friends that are like cicerones, or the wine guy, sommelier.
Yeah.
You know, like I do think it's cool. And and I'll go even one step further, there are people that when you send me an email, in the bottom of your email, it'll say like, Jerry is certified compliant in Microsoft Excel. And I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. I think that's pretty neat.
So, Chris, let's get into it. I saw this story and I wanted to talk to you about it because it's a sign that the times are changing.
I'll write that down.
And now this is a huge deal for just the idea that everything's going streaming. But have you seen that nothing's set in stone, but it looks like Apple Plus will acquire the rights for the NFL Sunday Ticket coming up in 2023. Have you seen that story?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of inevitable, right? I mean, it started a couple of years ago. You remember when they showed some NFL games for free on Twitter? Remember that?
Yeah.
And you could watch the games, and then now you can still watch, I think, the Manning broadcast, which if you're not watching that, you're missing out.
Yeah.
When they Monday Night Football games, they do that live. I think on Twitter as well. I think there's a link for that. But hey, man, we're in a streaming world, man. We just moved in, not completely moved in 100%, but we just moved into this house here, and for the first time, I've completely cut the cord. I got no cable. It's all streaming.
Wow.
I know a lot of people are that way, and I just think it's going that way. I don't network television, and the networks just don't have the power they used to have.
I still have cable, but not for any reason other than I just do, if that makes sense. It's not like I have it because I need the box, I need the DVR, I need it to, curate programming. I use
DVR.
Yeah, I mean, but still, I mean, like, yeah, you don't need it.
So
it is convenient though to be able to have certain shows recorded on your DVR because the scheduled programming and the streaming that they offer sometimes just isn't it's not as specific as I need it to be.
Dude, I'm not saying that I should earn some type of award for voluntarily cutting the cord. I mean, I was kind of forced into it.
Right.
We're not in the middle of nowhere. There is no cable out here. I mean, I'm lucky to have internet. So, the internet here is okay. It's not great. I have reached out to Mr. Musk to get the new Starlink. I'm pretty excited about that. I'm hoping to get it in the next 6 months.
The speeds on the new Starlink are pretty good too.
Yeah, they're very good.
What is that, a new internet service? I haven't even heard about this.
It's his satellite.
So it's like satellite internet?
Yes.
Yep. And it's pretty fast. I know some people that have it in some pretty remote places, like out west in Colorado and stuff, and it's faster than anything they ever had, even when they had cable.
There's a couple boats that I follow on Reddit who have the Starlink, the Elon Musk Starlink deal. It's been pretty. Where you hear a lot about it recently has been like in the Ukraine. They've been using it a lot, in areas that wouldn't have any internet access.
It's weird because you forget that there's still places with shoddy internet and even cell phone connections.
God, even in the studio sometimes can be terrible.
Well, when we went on this RV camping trip and we were up at Jenny Springs, and inside Jenny Springs there is no cell reception or internet at all, and it's weird. You're like, I'm like, I haven't been to a place that doesn't have a cell or internet in a long time. Like, one bar, so you're basically barely getting a text, but you definitely can't surf the internet. But anyway, back to the NFL ticket, because it's so antiquated the way that they're doing it currently. It's insane to me, and how in 2022
it's almost like we forgot about it, right? It was just DirecTV, Sunday Ticket, and then we just kind of put it in a vault and let it do its thing for 20 years and never went back and looked at it, right?
Yeah, you need, like, the fact that you need DirecTV to get all these NFL games and to even purchase a Sunday. You can't even purchase a Sunday ticket without DirecTV. Unless you got a college kid's name and blah blah blah. Anyway, but
of course.
It's crazy. There's like 2022, and nope. You need this cable provider, DirecTV. You need a satellite on your roof, and then you could purchase the NFL ticket for $499 or whatever. It's like $399.
On top of all the hoops you have to jump through, like you'd get to the end and it'd be like $300.
Who's gonna change who's gonna go back? Like most people, I feel, maybe not most, because it's still the minority to have no cable. But I feel like it's got to be close to 50% of people no longer have cable and just get everything through the internet. But it's like they're not going to go and get DirecTV and get a satellite, just to get the Sunday ticket, So
no.
Anyway, I feel like by the time 2023 rolls around, if this does happen, it's only $4.99 a month. Most people will opt to get that if they are NFL fans.
And I was wrong. I actually quoted to Tom that it was a little bit more expensive than that. And being able to pick and choose when you want to jump in would be rad.
Now, who knows if they're going to charge extra for the ticket or not, or just roll it into their normal package. But, it seems like that is going to be the future of everything.
Hey, Chris, have you watched any of the baseball that Apple's done?
No, I actually haven't. I haven't really. My wife watches a couple of programs on Apple Plus because free subscription came with the last phone upgrade we did through AT&T. But I haven't watched any baseball on Apple. I still watch streaming the old-fashioned way on the either through ESPN or the phone app, my phone app. But,
I use the MLB app most of the time too, since I'm a new baseball fan. But what I will say, and I predict this for whatever Apple Plus does, if they do acquire football, is that I think that the way it's shot and the way that they do their graphics, they do it in the same style that their phones have. Like it's very slick. It's minimalist. It's like kind of tucked into the corner, and like I will say that their staff, their play-by-play guys, their color guys, not that great. But the way it looks, it really looks great, And I think that they'll be able to pilfer some of the better play-by-play and announcing. I think they'll be able to acquire some of that because they'll be the thing. They'll be the big dog. And when you're the big dog, all the talent comes to you. Yeah. But I love the way their baseball games look. And they did this one thing for a little while, and I don't know if they'll do this with football. I'd be interested to see what people would think of it. But you could watch a baseball game with no sound, just the sound of the baseball, just like if you were there.
The sound like in the stadium. Yeah,
so I was watching Apple Baseball, and if you like the way things are shot, or if you have like a really nice TV, which I know a lot of our listeners do, they're into that stuff, right?
Yeah.
Having a beautiful TV and then putting just baseball, no commentary, no people screaming, just the sounds of the game, it's neat. It's like I've kind of fell in love with it. I was like, this is cool that you get the opportunity to do this. But anyway, I think that's an exciting story.
And of course, Amazon they purchased Thursday Night Football, and we've seen some of the
Who's
commentators.
Handling that? Who are the commentators?
I forgot who they announced and who they brought over, but I know that Ryan Fitzpatrick, they brought him in as an analyst and like commentator, and some other big names. Who was the big acquisition? Used to be Dallas's quarterback.
Tony Romo?
No.
Aikman?
Aikman. I think
Troy Aikman?
I think they bought Aikman.
Troy Aikman looks like a candle that's been rolled in sand or something. Like his face, there's something going on with it. It's like all of his features are continuing to grow. It's like he's dead and his nose is continuing to grow or something. It's odd.
Chris, I got a question for you, and it's golf related. We don't talk that much golf. I don't watch that much golf, or I'm not into it as much. But
you watched this weekend because it looked like any Florida transmission mechanic won the Open, right?
That
guy is cool looking.
I was talking more golf because my brother-in-law, I was hanging out for my mother-in-law's birthday the weekend, and we were all hanging out at my wife's grandma's house, and we were watching golf together. And I was asking him questions about the whole LIV, controversy and what the whole deal is with the LIV Golf,
with the other tour
tournament, the other
Sure.
tour and stuff. And he was telling me basically because it's Saudi backed, they just got unlimited money, and they just offered unlimited money to Greg Norman and DeChambeau and all these other golfers, and people are mad they defected to them, and this whole deal. Now, besides from the politics, I don't want to talk about any of that, but what I found interesting is I was asking him, I was like, they're trying to make golf or, make it, a competitor to the PGA Tour, and they're trying to make it more exciting to watch, making a shotgun start or whatever, and consolidating it so it's not so long.
Well, there's less tradition there, so they can, right?
Yeah,
it's a new thing, so change it up.
And so they were like, and I like all that. I mean, competitive or competition always, makes everybody better. But he was telling me that he's like, they don't have the same technology as far as like when you're watching it, they don't have the same ball tracking technology the PGA Tour has,
graphics and the layovers
and all the stuff. And he's like, because he gambles a lot on golf, and he's like, so it's not as entertaining to watch in that manner because they don't have the same technology built into the production.
It's more upstart.
But then I was like, well, that's weird that they have unlimited money to pay these guys, but they didn't throw unlimited money
but a lot
at
of that
the production.
Technology is close to the vest. It's like
is it like within the PGA Tour? But you think they could just hire the best production company in the world if they have unlimited money and make the production equal to the PGA Tour production?
You bring up an excellent point.
Weird, right? Have you thought about that, Chris?
I agree, and had this been China doing this tour, they would have just stole all the technology, right?
Right.
So
it would have only taken about 3 months, and
attempted to steal the technology. And no, I'm with you, man. I mean, you can grab all of the top talent, but if you're doing a Saudi tour, you've got to make it look good on television, right?
So it's on YouTube, but basically, I mean, we can watch YouTube like we could watch any network TV, and so there's no difference nowadays.
Well, the chat room brings up an excellent point. The WWE years ago started rolling out these. I forget the name of it, but it was they'd start rolling out a Saudi tour. And then now you have golf, Saudi tour. Like maybe Tom and Dan, maybe the future of our podcast is to perform for, a Saudi family of influence.
Nice.
I want a golden toilet.
Yeah,
and you and I don't have any morals or scruples or anything. Like we don't have even a dog in the fight, so we can do whatever we want.
Well, it does.
Morally, I don't know what's happening over there, so head in the sand. Let's do it. Let's roll.
Well, they just killed a reporter recently.
I know. I'm not a reporter.
But Chris, this is kind of along the same lines as the Apple Plus deal.
Fist bump
is the fact that now, because you can go on the internet, you can go on your phone and basically watch anything. Like there's competition, popping up with a lot of these things where. Okay, you don't need, as long as it can broadcast on the internet, now you're instantly competing with any TV broadcast or any network broadcast. It's like, all right, everybody has a smartphone. The entire world has one. And if you could see the content through your smartphone, it's the same reason why we went into podcasts. We were saying this 10 years ago, and now it seems like the bigger, infrastructures are now morphing and changing to everything going streaming. Or now it's like PGA Tour now has competition with this other entity that now they have unlimited oil-backed money, but as long as it's broadcast on YouTube, it opens it up to unlimited audience.
It
same
does,
audience,
but it's just not the same.
But
they don't know their audience is what I would say. Is that
it'll take a while.
It'll take a long time.
But if they make it look as good, and to me it's like it's only a matter of okay, hire the best production companies, hire the best technology.
Yeah, but
like,
I feel like in golf though, if you don't have the players, you have nothing, because it's like it was like the XFL when they originally shot that. They were giving us a product that was as good or maybe even better to some people, not to me, than the NFL. Yeah. But they didn't have any of the players. The player, like now, this Saudi-backed league has some players, but it doesn't have the ones we really care about, and there's really only a couple.
But
for Johnny Casual golfer,
as long as the audience, though, if the audience starts demanding, like, hey, I want to see the LIV, like. Because
every time you say that, I think you're going to say LIV Tyler, and I'm like, yes, yes, LIV Tyler.
If the audience demands, like maybe they play each other, like they want to see these LIV players play the PGA players and
to see who's the best.
Because the audience is who is going to make the ultimate decision, right? I mean, because they make all their money through marketing and through commercials. So, the spectator is we the people are going to make the decision that forces
we the people in
the change, right? Chris, I mean, it's whatever the audiences want.
I don't know. So I think what you're trying to get at is these two different golf things. This is a whole big wrestling work. It's all a work. It's not a shoot. It's a work. So all of the lawsuits and the fighting, that's all part of it, right? It's all the work. Vince McMahon's gonna come out on one side,
yeah,
and it's just gonna be awesome. I think I'm looking at it from a wrestling angle here. It's a work, not a shoot.
So, Chris,
we better talk about cigars at least for 1 second before we get out of here.
What's going on in your world with the humidor?
Cool couple things. First of all, great legislative news. Federal court struck down the FDA's, basically said that they were way out of line trying to regulate cigars. If everybody remembers, several years ago, The cigar industry asked for an exemption for premium cigars, not to create all tobacco or all cigars the same, separate premium hand-rolled product from mass market product. And the FDA basically had option one, which was treat them all the same, and option two is to separate premium cigars. And they went with option one, and the main reason stating there was no evidence or data that proved that they should go with option two, and which was a lie because they did their own studies, which proved they had plenty of data to go with option two, and the federal court kind of called them out on it. And it was actually if you read the ruling, it was some of the language was made a lot of us in the industry very happy. The judge kind of really got all over the FDA. They were well overreaching their boundaries. It's not a completely over, but it was a huge, huge victory for the industry, and that's great. And we just got back from Vegas. We were out in Vegas last week for the trade show, and of course, everybody's kind of celebrating that ruling that came down on July 5th. And so lots of new products coming. Maybe we'll talk about it next time, some of the new stuff we picked up in Vegas.
Oh, I love it, man. Any new trends that you're seeing? Because, I'm glad that you guys don't knee-jerk. I'm glad that cigars and mostly spirits in general, it's not like you get much craziness in there. It's like what's the trend now?
Pretty much the same, I think, as far as profiles. I mean, obviously anything Nicaraguan is very popular. People are still getting crazy about collabs. The biggest collab that was talked about at this show was the Padron family and the Fuente family. For the first time, George and Carlito got together to build to do a cigar.
That's like a mega cigar, right?
Yeah, and so Fuente and Padron have joined forces to make a cigar, and the cigar, 100% of the revenue from these cigars are going to go to charity, half to the Fuente family charities or the cigar family charities, and the other half to be to Padron's foundation. Wow. So really cool deal. It was the talk of the trade show. It was good seeing Carlito and George together, presenting this cigar to everyone. Don't know where they don't know how much it's going to cost, how many they're going to, where it's going to be. They just kind of got the cigar ready to go, so they haven't worked out all the details. But if I can get my hands on some of those, I will certainly let you know.
Well, that's awesome.
What, Chris? Who's the oldest cigar family or company out there that's
a great question?
difficult to really. I mean, they're all of these guys have pretty long lineage. We talk about here in the U.S. the Newman family. They go back to the late 1800s. They're over in Tampa, and they're obviously have a really strong partnership with the Fuente family. The Padrones, obviously another family of Cuban expatriates. They've been in the business a long time. I mean, most of these families, even if they've only started, their brands and their name have only been around for 50 or 60 years. Their family have been involved in tobacco going back, if not hundreds of years, So most of the people in the industry have these family brands from a lineage standpoint. Their grandfathers and great grandfathers were involved in the industry going way, way back. So,
God, I wonder if like old Grandpa Cigar, like, he's there and he's built this company on his shoulders and from nothing, and then he's can still hand roll the cigars, and then here you are, the young punk, you come running in with your vape pen or your vapor. You got to drive him crazy. These old men's cigars must hate vape rigs with the big battery and the LED screen, and it's lighting up, and it's like, what is it? It's not even smoke, it's vapor. I don't believe in it.
Well, I will say this from the family's perspective, from the people that are in the industry, each generation the next generation seems to want to carry the torch. And I think it says a lot about how the whole culture of cigars and how those families, it's not like, you don't see the next generation, they're not playing with their phones, and, they're not doing other rich kid stuff or other entitled things that people would be entitled because they kind of lost longer. That the next, you got to realize these people that started these companies, they started from scratch. A lot of them came to this country and had to start over.
Yeah.
So drive, and they always say a couple of generations removed, that drive, when all of a sudden you're starting to have success, those next generations of kids just don't have that same, they don't have the struggle that the previous generations had. But it's heartening, to see the next generation of the cigar movement, and that they're all on board and all involved. And I think it's a credit to the whole culture and how the families have passed down their skills.
That's awesome.
And what they do.
Chris, I don't know about you, but when you hear about people starting over, even like in midlife, like I
think about that sometimes. You lose it all. You got to start at 50.
Oh
my God!
I can't do it.
Actually, 50 is a little too late, right? I'd say like 40, 41. Seems right.
People start over at all ages, and then I can't understand because if you told me I had to start from nothing again, nope, can't do it.
Sometimes people
too tired.
Sometimes people do it all, where they do business, too tired. They do wife, and they do I'm having a kid too at 50. I'm having a newborn, a new job, brand new 20-year-old wife. I'm like,
how the hell?
God, aren't you tired? I know she's beautiful. Your kid is beautiful, and I know that your company is great. But all of that, it's
too
so
much work.
Tiring.
From the beginning?
Yeah. Oh, too much.
Ridiculous.
Well, hey, it's always a pleasure seeing you, man. TheHumidor.com, and next time we have you on, we'll talk about we'll do some more product stuff and not more three old guys bitching about Apple Plus and DirecTV.
I'm happy about it.
Yeah, I'm happy about it too.
But use our promo code Tom and Dan at checkout at TheHumidor.com. And you can get some discount off your order.
Indeed.
Chris, anything else before we go?
No, that's it, man. See you guys next time.
Awesome. All right, brother. Be good, man.
See you, Chris.
That is Chris Qualtney live from, I believe that's from his house.
Yeah.
I think so. Not sure on that one.
All right, let's take a quick break. We'll be right back with more A Corporate Time. Welcome back to A Corporate Time. A couple things on TomandDan.com. We've got blowout merch sale.
I hate the term blowout.
We've got some shirts, some lady shirts. We've got a polo.
What are the retro striped men's shorts? Are those the orange and brown shorts? I like those.
I think, yes.
Those are very comfortable in the ding dong.
All on TomandDan.com.
Okay, yeah, TomandDan.com. And also sign up to be a BDM member. TomandDan.com/registration. Sign up, you get extra shows and all kinds of good stuff. Let's do some voicemail messages like this one right here.
What's going on, dudes and chicks? It's Big Rick. So I am driving around for work, and I'm in Claremont, and there's this giant vertical billboard that has a guy playing a guitar and screaming into a microphone.
We did?
That says the rip.
Okay. Sorry. I apologize.
No, that's fine. I think we played it on AMT.
Why would I play it on AMT? That's odd.
I don't know. But I heard Rick, and they're talking about the...
Now, were you sitting in here while I was taking voicemail messages? Because that happens to Sam sometimes, where I'll play one, and we didn't play it on the show. She just heard me take it, and then she's like, oh, yeah, we played that one. And I'm like, no, we didn't.
No, we played that one in the air, because I remember talking about what Rick said. I just can't remember what he said.
Fair enough. Yeah, I believe you. Chat room, we're split. We got somebody saying no, somebody saying yeah. Let's try this one.
Hey, I just got done listening to the OG recap intro where you're talking about communicating with people who are addicted. And I just wanted to say that if anyone is in that cycle, you need to stop. I did that for years with my ex-wife. And eventually she did die.
Oh, God.
And if you're in that loop and you're stuck, and it might feel like you're just kicking the can down the road a bit by...
Boy, I'm killing it with voicemails today, I got to tell you. I start with one we've already played, and then I go to dead wife and enabling.
Well, he's talking about enabling someone.
Helping out, even though you know that you're not only hurting that person, but you're also hurting yourself. Because there's not a day that I don't feel like I have some responsibility for my role, even though logically I know I didn't. It's not how it feels, and it's always going to feel like that. So if you are stuck in that loop, stop it right now. Save yourself and save that person. A lot of hurt. Anyway, sorry to bring things down.
You're a good man.
But, it was good for me to listen through that.
You're a good man, and everything you're saying is accurate and good, and it is easier said than done trying to not be an enabler for people that you care about. And when you see them sad, you instantly want to fix it, and sometimes fixing it can mean that you run over to them with some way to enable it, right?
Yeah.
And it's selfish. It's almost like in a selfish way. It's like, well, if I enable you, I'm going to feel better. Like I gave you
help you.
Yeah, like I gave you a little bit of. I get it, man. And everything you're saying though is easier said than done. But never apologize to this show about being heavy. We're never heavy on this show, so you can come and go as you please with heaviness. It's fine.
And it's real.
It's real.
Listen, me and Daniel always make jokes about everything, even serious things, because it's the way that we handle this.
It's my defense mechanism too.
But Daniel's correct. You do feel like you're helping the person. That's why
it feels good.
It feels good. You're like, I'm helping them, but you know that it's hurting them, which is weird too, because you're like, I'm trying to help them. They're begging me for this reason. They're and
well, you can compartmentalize your enabling and really get the benefits from it, right?
Yeah.
Like the benefit of helping the person. You're not truly helping them, but I mean, there are plenty of people, and what he was describing when he says, I even did that for my ex-wife, who eventually she died. I'm imagining a scenario where he was bringing her drinks or bringing her food.
Or just giving money.
Or giving money. And you get a little jolt.
And the person never asking for money for the drugs or the substance they're addicted to. They're asking money for other things that are legitimate.
Because it's embarrassing to ask for drug money, Tom.
Well, I know. But
I do wish they would.
And nobody will give you drug money. Because
if everybody was honest, and if I walked up to you and I was like, please, I need money for Oxycontin, you'd say, no. You're addicted to Oxycontin. I will not give you money for Oxycontin. I'd be like, okay, well, thank you.
But then you're like, I need money for rent or for food or
I wouldn't
for
lie
this.
to you.
And
I'm saying if I were honest about it.
But it's your disease lying to me. And that's what people should realize. It's like these people are addicts, and it's the disease that causes them to do this. Even though it's hard to separate that from the person because you're like, well, that's the person. And you'd be like, yeah, but that addiction causes this behavior, and it's been shown that once someone can get their life back from this disease, that they're not the same person, right? It's like they're not motivated the same, and it's hard, man.
Yeah,
it's because some people never get out of it, and so you see the success stories, and there's been plenty of them where people have been clean for for the rest of their lives. Like they got from the worst of the worst, and then they got clean and they turned it around. So we're all optimistic that can happen, but sometimes it can't.
Yeah.
And sometimes a person is like, no matter what, stuck in this cycle of addiction, and
easier said than done.
A lot of people never get out of it, and it's hard to deal with. And but I feel that we've talked about this before, but everybody that's listening to this has some experience with it. If you're old enough, for sure you've had some experience with it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like
I would agree with that.
And we should get better at figuring it out, but oh man, it's difficult. And every situation is different.
It's different.
So,
yeah, because every person is different. Let's try this one, maybe a little bit lighter.
Hey guys, it's Chuck out in Astatula. Just giving you a call while I'm on my lunch break. I was listening to the corporate time from yesterday, and you guys were talking about trash food and restaurants. And Dan was talking about the German food that used to be in the mall. I know Fashion Square here in Orlando used to have Wunderbar.
That's it.
Old world delicatessen.
That's it. Okay, so Daytona Beach, like in Volusia County here in Florida.
Yeah.
In the Daytona Beach area, which was the biggest city, near my hometown of DeLand, we would scoot up to the Volusia Mall, and inside the mall would be a German delicatessen with all kinds of like, what do you call those? The steins, the beer steins.
Yeah.
That are like ceramic with the metal top.
Yeah.
Hanging all throughout there, and different wheels of cheese, and then different smoked and cured meats hanging everywhere, and sausages hanging from ropes.
Yeah.
And they play the music, and you'd walk in there. It was called Mr. Dunderbox.
I remember you talking about that.
And then the other one, I always said there was another one that looked very similar, like a yellow awning. It would say Mr. Dunderbox. You'd walk in, it would smell a certain way. You'd get yourself like a roast beef with like horseradish and mustard. And, They make all the sandwiches. And the other one was called a Wunderbar. That was the one that was like Mr. Dunderbox, but it wasn't like Mr. Dunderbox. They were like exactly the same, except just the name was different.
Huh.
And these are little German restaurants that were in malls.
But it was a franchise.
I believe so. I think both were a franchise. I think Mr. Dunderbox and Wunderbar were competitors. Bitter competitors.
All those small, like, mall... It's weird because those, like...
the mall
in the
sports
food court,
store makes... The saddest thing I see now is that most malls, when they flourished... like when they were thriving, are dead now, and inside of there is one older man in his late 50s that owns a sports store, and he has liquidated his savings, his profit sharing, everything that he earned from his regular job when he was smart and not kooky and chasing the dream.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy took all his money, and he convinced his dumb wife to let him open this stupid like sports store, and you go in there, and this mother effer's got 1,000 Dallas Cowboys Tervis cups and dusty flags, and he thinks, oh my God, it makes me so sad. I'm like, you're never gonna get rid of all this garbage. You've got 1,000 Dallas Cowboy clear dusty Tervis cups. You've got 1,000 of them. And you might as well kill yourself, right? You're done. You destroyed your family's legacy by you chased this sports store dream, and look at you now. Should be ashamed of yourself.
What is it, the single, like, the motivation to open
I made
up a
myself
shop?
uncomfortable. I talked about something that literally gave myself goosebumps. I hate it, man. Then Andrea will be walking through the mall, and she'll go, you want to go in the store? I'm like, no, I can't go in there. She's like, why can't you go in the sports store? I go, because it makes me uncomfortable. She goes, she likes sports. I go, yeah, I do. But I don't like walking in there, and then you look around, and there's not one person. And how much square footage do they have? 4,000 square feet. It's the biggest building in the world. It's literally a Walmart filled with dusty Tervis cups. And this guy took every bit of money he had and pumped it into this thing, and it's failing. And it failed. It failed the minute he signed the lease. It failed.
Who did he run it past that told him that it was going to be a good idea? There had to have been someone in his life, or
he's got the Tervis. He's got the dog collars. He's got a couple of Go Gators in the back. You ever walk in those places and see how many jerseys they have? 5,000 jerseys.
The licensing must have been insane to be able to get the licensing rights to sell those, right?
And it's just racks of garbage. Oh, God, it makes me so sad.
Well, the internet killed their business. Oh, man.
Yeah, because you can just go to Amazon and type in anything.
Yeah.
And let's talk about this for a second. There was a time when there were NFL, NBA, and MLB jerseys that you would buy in a store. Then there was a time when you could buy all three of those jerseys online.
Yeah.
And then your friend would come on, occasionally would send you an email and say, hey, I got this guy that's got these jerseys. They're exactly the same as the NFL jerseys, but they're made in a factory right next to the regular factory. This is the lie everybody would say. Because nobody knows what they're talking about. This is what I've realized. At 46, I realized that all my friends, you included, everyone I know, everyone's an idiot. No one knows anything, including myself. Me too.
Yeah.
But nobody knows anything. They'd be like, yeah, so the Nike, the Nike jersey that you want of Atlanta Falcons, it's $400. I'm like, God damn, I get it. But there is a Chinese knockoff. It's exactly the same. It's exactly as these are what people tell me. It's exactly the same jersey. And it's in the factories right next door to the Nike factory. They just steal the plans and they make the jersey. And then you can get this jersey from this website that's super shady. You can look at it for $75. But don't tell anybody about it. It's really illegal. Then that was years ago. Now I just get emails from the illegal website saying, hey, you want another jersey? We're good. It's not illegal, apparently. We're fine. No one's shutting us down. We do whatever we want. Everything's good.
Well,
what is the deal?
It's I guess they're like, well, try to stop us, and if you do somehow, we'll just open up the factory down the road. We'll do it, and then it'll take you
so they win.
6 months. I don't know, because it seems like
it used to be like, don't talk about it. Now it's like, that's a scam that you can but buy it. It's fine. It's a reputable scam. Now there's reputable scams, like scams that are vetted. Like, no, that one's fine. You can do that one.
Oh, I mean,
I got buddies that will only buy the knockoff NFL jerseys because they're like, they're better made than the regular jersey. I'm like, what is happening? What is happening?
If it's opened up now where you could buy whatever you want on the internet, and you could find like whatever the the product was, it was only this company made because they had the patent. I guess it's all with the patents now, right? Like they just steal them, and I mean, I don't know about the curse, but we
I know when there's no Sam here, we run it like old school.
We made pop sockets and we sold them, and Tony ordered from some company, and they said pop socket on. They were not the company
in the pop socket font.
Yeah.
With a trademark under it that said the little TM. This is pop socket trademark, and they're lying. They're like, this is a legitimate pop socket. Why? We're saying it is. Is it? No.
I mean, it's the same Chinese plastic
garbage. It lasted
garbage.
longer than my regular pop socket.
Well, mine the logo fell off, but
Well, that's because the paint's lead paint.
But I feel like the other ones would have too. But so it's like that, and we're just selling them online, and like it doesn't really matter. It's too big to stop right now, right? There's too many. It's like the old you can't say Super Bowl on the radio.
Yeah,
it's like
that's done.
Too many people saying it. They can't stop them out. It's impossible.
Let's try this one. I believe this is from a new BDM listener.
What's up, guys? Brand new BDM over here on the Space Coast. Chef Jeremy. Just wanted to call and let you know, love listening to the show. I close my store at 7 o'clock, so corporate time comes on. Listen to it on my way home. And just listen to the Neti Pot episode, which I just got last week. And yes, everybody likes douching their nose. Keep it up, guys. Peace out.
Thank you, Chef Jeremy. Sounds like he's calling from his space capsule or something.
When's the last time you used that Neti Pot?
I use it about once a week. Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah.
Because I feel like it's one of those things I never remember to do.
I got really bad allergies, so about once a week I blow them out of there. And like this morning, I couldn't even breathe this morning.
Yeah, my son suffers from that. It's just runny nose all the damn time.
All the time.
And I'm like, man, your body stinks at adapting to its environment. Why is it causing you so many problems?
How long have I lived in Florida? Yeah. 46 years, and you mean to tell me I haven't gotten better at breathing in dust in 46 years?
People move to different climates because they have such problems with allergies.
Man. If you do that, you're a pussy. If you move to a different climate,
where you're going to be tortured every day?
But those people,
every day.
I feel bad for those people because there are those people that like. Okay, is it too early for a hot take? Don't we need some of these for the award ceremony? So when people put on their Facebook, we're moving to Arizona because my wife just can't take the allergies here, I think less of you. I'm like, you're a weak person. If you have to move.
But every day they suffer.
Yeah, and every day I suffer too. But you know what I do?
Why
I get up and I get it done. Because I like Florida.
But you can go to someplace.
I don't want to go someplace else. I'm not weak.
Other places are just as good.
Other places have other stuff too. It's like, in Florida, I got a sniffles. You go to like Arizona, oh, what happens now? My feet itch. That's the old Arizona. Everybody's got something,
Dry.
right? Yeah, everybody's got something. So my point is, it's not going to be any better there. Maybe in that aspect, it could be a little bit better. But I think you're a weak person. If you have a job that you hate right now and you quit it because you hate it, you're weak.
You just stay where you're miserable.
Stay where you're at, yeah. Be miserable a little bit.
I mean, there's a lot of people that just stay where they're at because that's all they know. Yeah. But you can go some other place.
New stuff is scary, dude. New stuff is scary. You got to learn stuff. You got to make new friends.
Yeah, but most people don't have that many friends anyway.
I've got a friend right now that they're moving away. They're moving like all across to the other coast. You know, they're going West Coast. No friends. He got a new job and they're just going. And I'm like,
start new.
Oh no.
You should. I mean,
you'll never know anybody. You'll die alone.
I wonder how many people die within 10 miles from their high school they went to. You know what I'm saying? Like probably a good amount of people, right?
A lot, yeah.
And it's like, you know, you don't want to get to your old age and you're like, well, I didn't do that much. Well, you could have gone, you know, you go move somewhere else and see what it's like. You know, you could always move back, right?
Yes, you can. That's what we tell people. Let's try this one right here.
Hey guys, it's Sean from Vegas. I heard you talking about the different promotions that you were thinking of running. And I think if you start with a prize wheel that sends you to a link where we can download the podcast, then listen to it, but film ourselves listening to it and reacting to it, then we send those tapes into Sam where she'll rewatch them and verify that we listened to the podcast. Then she would send us a code where we could download an NFT of Jimmy's egghead, and every 5 eggs.
Okay, the egghead made me laugh.
It's funny because I listen to podcasts and they're on bigger networks, so the bigger networks run commercials for other podcasts.
Yeah,
to
what do they do?
Whatever. And whatever commercial I hear for a podcast, it never makes me even curious or it makes me want to go listen to that podcast.
It usually makes me mad at the podcast. I'm like, oh, F these guys.
Well, I'm just like, yeah, I know you're breaking down the current topics of the world and bringing your take to, who cares? Like, everybody's doing that. You're not telling me anything that I care about. Like, and I guess at this point in time, like if you're searching for a podcast to listen to, it's either A, you're searching for information, right? Like something
you're into.
Something you're into.
That's what I do.
If you're into, gambling like I am, you're searching for NFL gambling podcasts where there's an infinite amount anyway. Yeah. So or if you're into murders like Samantha or conspiracies or whatever, there's an infinite amount of that.
I've been listening to a lot of car podcasts.
Yeah.
I've been listening to some automotive ones. I've been listening to...
You can listen to car podcasts about Tesla. Like, I'm sure there's a Tesla podcast.
Yeah, there are a few.
And so if you're into that, so it's either informational or comedic maybe, and then I feel like you're just going to start with the most successful comedians because they all have podcasts, right?
But you know what I've
noticed? You're not going to listen to your local comedian podcast for comedy, even though you should, just to see, because he's local, but you're probably going to go to the professionals first for the best quality, right?
Yeah, but I've noticed about the about comedian podcasts is that they are sort of morphing out of like a place where they would go just to do stand-up, where you're seeing some like guys that were stand-up guys that are now kind of understanding that when you're doing a podcast for as long as like we've done it and some comedians have done it, that you get a very intimate sort of like a family of people that follow along, right? So like I'm seeing now that like I'll give you for instance, like Bobby Lee's podcast, Tiger Belly.
Okay.
He just recently split with his girlfriend, I want to say like 10 years, Kalila.
Okay.
And it's like a big thing because up until this point, it was like stand-up guy does podcast, stand-up podcast. But it's more now. Now it's more like these people are like, it's almost like you're watching a show. and you got invested in the characters, and you're enmeshed, and now they're part of your family. And when you see them break up, there's like more drama there.
Oh yeah, well, yeah, because
it's interesting.
Well, the stand-up comedians, they're just doing a talk show. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like,
but I think they approached it earlier on. Let's say 10 years ago when comedians were doing podcasting. I think they approached it as a place where they could just riff, maybe try some material, just keep it light and keep it fun.
Yeah.
But what they've determined in doing it for as long as they have is that no, it's bigger than that, because you've curated almost like this little family, this little broadcasting family, and these people are they're very ingrained with what you're doing, and they care.
Yeah, it's become a show about their own lives, because that's what happens when you do a talk show, is you gravitate towards talking about what's going on with you
in your own life. Yeah,
and then the show is basically just like our show. It's about your life, and then about like things going on around you and your friends and family and that kind of thing. And it's like talk radio. That's what all talk radio eventually goes to, if your topics aren't politics or sports.
Yeah, when
right?
do we flip to politics? We've been wanting to do that for a while now, right?
That's later on.
When we get really old. Let's do one more, and then we'll take a break.
For the love of everything Floridian, please stop calling them sandals. Women and girls wear sandals. Men and boys wear flip-flops. Please, 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 stop saying that.
You okay, bro? I mean, no. You know what? I'm just going to keep saying sandals.
Flip-flops is a baby word.
A baby word. That's what I thought. This guy wants us to say, like, I'm wearing my flip-flops. What am I, a baby?
Yeah. I don't like it. And there's also...
Happy sauce, flip-flop. No, they're sandals.
Yeah. And sandals, or the resort.
Yeah.
So,
sandals, the resort. Sandals. Jesus, sandals. Jesus didn't wear flip-flops. He wore sandals.
Yeah. Flip-flops.
Sandals are leather. Flip-flops are plastic garbage that babies wear or prisoners wear.
It sounds like a baby word, too.
Flip-flop. Flip-flop. It's the sound my penis makes when I'm walking. It's stupid.
I never called them flip-flops growing up or anything like that.
Me neither. I called them sandals.
Yeah.
Now, my dad,
I don't like the word slides
my
either.
dad would go, thongs.
Oh, God.
I ain't wearing thongs. A man never shows his goddamn toes. Your mother's never seen my toes, and I fathered you. That's how. I don't think I ever saw my dad wear flip-flops. So one of the only things that he told me privately he looked down on you for is the fact that you run a very open footbed. You have a very open foot. It's open to the world. It's tan. You wear sandals. My dad was a man of business, and my dad would have felt naked, exposing the top of his foot to the world.
Yeah, my dad didn't wear you. You wore boat shoes?
Yeah, boat shoes. My dad had boat shoes. He had his loafers for when he was wearing suits. He had his boat shoes, and that was his daily drivers. And then he had...
Or my dad would just be barefoot.
My dad would be barefoot, but my dad also had one other one. He had taken Maggie the dog out. He had little sandals. Sandals, little... I see I'm screwing up my own idea here. No, little... What are those things? House shoes.
Oh yeah,
the boat shoes that look like boat shoes, but they're slippers. They're the tried and true brown with the leather tie on the top and the flannel, the red flannel on the inside.
Yeah.
Tried and true. Kids wear them to Walmart all the time. It's like a thing.
I've got a foot odor problem.
Oh, we know.
So I cannot wear like a boat shoe or like
you got to soak your feet in vinegar bucket.
A Vans. I know nothing helps. It's inside my foot.
Yeah, you got to soak them out good.
I don't think that'll work.
Yeah, it will.
It's
no, but it's like a day. You have to leave your feet in a bucket you have to sleep with your feet in a vinegar bucket.
Can I put Ziploc bags around it? Like a zip tie on my ankle?
You can zip tie 2 vinegar bags to your feet, and you got to soak them all night.
I don't think that'll work. Like the foot odor that I have, if I put my foot in a boat shoe without a sock and for a day, it will ruin them forever. And
you should be wearing a bonobo or something, a small footy. I don't like those either, though. I like them. I like wearing a footy sock when my foot's in the shoe. I don't like exposing my foot in a footy sock to other men. And I'm not homophobic in any way, shape, or form. In fact, I'm the opposite.
Well, like you're wearing a little ballerina slipper.
Yeah, I don't like it. I always feel like it's too intimate. I feel like you shouldn't see me like that. It's like if you opened up the bathroom and I was standing in there in full lingerie with garter belts on. I'd be like, you shouldn't have seen this.
See, like my wife's uncle was hanging out with us, and he plays golf. He's like a real man.
Yeah,
and he's wearing a Van, like because he dresses kind of young because he's still cool.
Like me. I dress kind of young, but you guys tell me I'm not cool.
Well,
I think I'm pretty cool.
He wears like a polo shorts, but he's wearing Vans, like slide-on Vans, the checkerboard Vans,
like what I got on.
And he's wearing them with no socks. And then I'm like, "Don't your feet stink?" He's like, "No." And then I'm like, "Well,
cleaner person."
No. I cannot. No matter how much I clean my feet, if I put them in Vans with no socks, they're going to stink in 3 hours. It's going to stink.
Well, you sweat, then you have foot.
It's a problem. It's a medical condition or something. Like there's no way out of it.
We have to reset your feet. I think we got to get the vinegar bags on them.
It's like people that have BO. Like you can't.
You can reset them.
No, they're always going to have BO.
I've reset a bunch of exchange students. My buddy Dave and I used to reset them. You got to hold them down. You got to hose them down with Degree, the teal. Degree deodorant, spray deodorant.
I used to put deodorant on my feet.
Don't do that. We have video of that. Don't do that ever again. Don't do that.
But is there a foot deodorant that will
prescription
that I could use? Because then
probably going to be a cream.
I'll just use that and wear no socks. But does that work?
It's probably going to be a cream.
I don't want to put cream on my feet.
It's going to be a deodorant cream.
I just want a stick that I roll on my feet.
Can't you use like retinol for everything? Isn't that what like? Yeah, that's what, like, teen girls, you get a refrigerator, you put your retinol in the refrigerator, you rub that on your feet, it makes them stop sweating, like Botox or something. I don't know anything about science or chemicals, but I'm just saying, I've heard that, right?
Oh, we got to go.
Can't you get Botox in your feet?
Bye-bye.